right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Building better after a deadly tornado destroys a North City church. See how their push to rebuild is pushing the community forward.
While shower chances are around through Memorial Day, severe weather isn't for us. The latest timing on when the shower chances are the highest.
Tonight, people search for shelter a week after the tornado destroyed their homes.
It don't look like we can save this.
How local groups are stepping in to put a roof over their heads.
No family should have this great impact of loss.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Robert Townsend. Within the last few hours, Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe activated the National Guard to come help storm relief efforts here in St. Louis. 41 members of the Guard will arrive in the city by Wednesday. Mayor Kara Spencer says their mission will involve helping with debris removal and transportation at multiple sites in the city. Now, Spencer says it's a key mission in returning the city back to normal.
Debris removal, this is an enormous component of the work we're doing right now. In just the first week, we were able to clear all roads and alleys and make them passable. Just an enormous effort.
City officials requested the Guard's assistance just yesterday. The Guard is expected to be here until June 11th. Tonight, the city is close to finishing all building evaluations in the tornado disaster zone. About a third have been deemed red or structurally dangerous. While people aren't being kicked out, there is more work happening to get them into shelters or hotels. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski takes us to Market Street.
A green sky that's no one ever seen before, and then all of a sudden it was calm on the left side, and then it was soon on that side it was nothing but a funnel cloud and wild spinning around and around, and I knew I had no sirens, nothing, no warning or nothing. And then I saw it turn coming this way.
Mikhail Phillips was at home by himself when the storm hit, waiting for his mom to come back from picking up his little sister.
And then all of a sudden I felt the ground shake and I ran. As soon as I ran in the house, the house started to dissipate, started to get destroyed. Everything started flying around rapidly.
And when the tornado passed, he came out to this.
It was really scary, so scary, it's traumatizing.
The Phillips family home, which you can see at the end of the street, used to be vacant. They spent years and thousands of dollars renovating it, only to see it all come crumbling down around them. Now they're trying to salvage what they can.
We're just trying to get whatever is that's left of it, clothing or other stuff that we need that's left behind.
Unfortunately, their home is on the red or structurally dangerous list. Ameren has been told by the city to shut off the power to all on that list.
We know this is heartbreaking and adding trauma to an already traumatic scenario here, but we recognize that it's dangerous to have electricity on those structurally unsound buildings.
The Urban League and other groups like Rise Impact are ramping up efforts to get families into hotels.
We were able to raise some funds, small funds for them to stay in the hotel for 2 days. Also coming out, checking on them, bringing them water, allowing them to ride along with me to pick up tangible items that they need.
Phillips says they're thankful for the community and for still having each other.
It's a blessing to receive help.
Reporting in St. Louis, Laura Barcheski, 5 on Your Side.
Now, if you'd like to help donate to Rise Impact so they can help those families get into hotels, we have that information on KSDK.com. Families needing a hotel can also call the Urban League at 314-615-3600. Well, hours ago, the Red Cross added another shelter for people impacted by the tornado. This new shelter is located at Peter and Paul Community Services in their Garfield building. That's at 2612 Wyoming Street near Benton Park. Its 3 other shelters are still open at the 12th and Park Recreation Center, Refresh Community Church, and the Friendly Temple Outreach Center. New tonight, Centennial Church announced plans to rebuild after last week's tornado destroyed parts of it. The church's plan includes an affordable housing unit, a community health clinic, and more resources for locals. Officials will release renderings of the project on Wednesday in Fountain Park. Volunteers will also hand out gift cards, food, and other supplies at that event. Well, let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell now with the weather impact forecast. Scott, we had another day of dry conditions, but the big question is, how much longer can we keep this up?
Well, most of us were dry today. I think a large number of us, not all of us, will be dry tomorrow, but there is a better chance of showers, especially going south of St. Louis as we head towards late tonight, very early tomorrow morning. For most of us, the action has stayed out of the St. Louis area. In fact, it turned out to be a pretty nice evening, but now it's getting noisy. Down towards Springfield, showers and thunderstorms are bubbling up. None of this is going to become severe, but the focus for showers and thunderstorms, you see it developing Kansas into western Missouri. There'll be more down into Oklahoma and Texas, and there's more to the north of that up in Nebraska, and some of it will make a run at us here as we head through the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. You may hear some rumbles of thunder south of Steelville, heading down towards Viburnum, heading down towards Centerville and Fredericktown and Farmington, but nothing severe expected with that. And in the metro area, very little. And as we go farther north and northeast of St. Louis, it just doesn't look like there's a whole lot of rain for us tomorrow, but at least the chance of some scattered showers around, especially again later tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk more about that and your Memorial Day forecast in a few minutes.
Right now, renters are worried the tornado may impact multiple aspects of their leases, such as possibly terminating them and not getting their security deposits back. 5 on your side's Travis Cummings looks at what legal rights renters have when their homes are damaged or destroyed.
I could tell that I couldn't stay in my home because I could see the sky from my apartment.
That was enough to send Jelani Hall to a hotel. These are images of her top floor apartment on Pershing Avenue between Laurel and DeBoliver, one of the areas devastated by last week's EF3 tornado.
I haven't really spoken directly to my landlord. He probably has about 8 or 9 buildings alone within a 2-block radius.
Through recent texts, Hall says the ball is now in tenants' court.
They have presented us with an opportunity. If we want to move, we can. You know, they're letting us out of the leases, they're giving us our deposits, or we can opt to stay. We wait and just see how long it takes them to get things repaired.
That's the reality for many renters right now, a choice between staying or going. But what's clear, they can't be forced out.
If your apartment or the home that you are living in has been totally destroyed, so it is not livable, you are protected. You are not legally obligated to pay for an apartment or a home that isn't livable.
Missouri law backs that up. If a home is destroyed by a natural disaster, like a tornado, the tenant is not liable for rent, as long as they didn't cause the damage.
There is some heat on the landlord to take action, to fix whatever the issue is, to make sure that the tenant has a place that they can safely and securely put their head down.
Two big things tenants can do while they wait:
documentation and communication.
Hall is hoping for normalcy, and soon.
My landlord is working to get his buildings back up so that we can be back in our communities.
Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
Now, if you and your landlord disagree about whether you should get your deposit back, you can call an attorney for assistance. If you need legal advice, call this number, 573-635-5215, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Today, nearly half a dozen local groups volunteered for a supply drive along Natural Bridge Avenue in North St. Louis. Cars lined the block around a Save-A-Lot parking lot. Volunteers handed out lots of clothes, water, groceries, and other supplies to people impacted by last Friday's tornado. Now, some volunteers say they were also there offering spiritual help. Today, a local motorcycle club also helped families impacted by the tornado. The group passed out hot meals, toiletries, cleaning supplies, and more to people in need. The entire operation was funded by the club and a few of their sponsors. Now, organizers tell us this disaster hits close to home.
When my club sister, we found out that she was a victim, we definitely said that we need to come out here and do what we can do, not just for her, but for the community. But what I can say to all those that's been affected, keep hope alive. God is in control, God is in charge, and we're going to be okay. St. Louis, we're going to be okay.
The club says they don't have another tornado relief event planned yet, but you can look for updates on their Facebook page.
Travel troubles. Millions head out on vacation and face new problems.
Bumper to bumper, it's very scary stuff.
It was ridiculous.
The dangers travelers are seeing on the road and in the sky. After a deadly tornado, many wonder how many disasters Missouri has gone through. we verified where the state sits on this lethal list.
It's a list we don't want to be on. It really has been a long, severe weather season this year for us, but the pattern we're in now isn't one for big storms locally when the warmer weather returns.
Yesterday marked the third busiest travel day, listen to this, of all time, with more than 3 million people flying and even more driving for their Memorial Day weekends. However, some are seeing their fair share of issues on the roads and at the airports. NBC's Aaron McLaughlin shares the travel troubles people are seeing ahead of their vacations.
More than 45 million people, an all-time record, are expected to travel 50 miles or more this holiday weekend, according to AAA.
It's just awful. 4 accidents already that I passed today.
What's happening out there?
I don't know, bumper to bumper. It's very scary stuff.
Despite the rainy roads and chillier than average temps in the Northeast.
It is 53 degrees and raining at the end of May. I didn't want to see this jacket again until December.
With TSA expecting to screen 18 million passengers around the holiday, all eyes on the troubled Newark airport after a recent series of disturbing communication outages. United Airlines today reported immediate improvement in arrival delays after the FAA cut back the number of flights per hour. In Dallas, long lines greeted passengers this morning, some delayed by a suspicious item that brought out the bomb squad. On top of the rush at the nation's largest airports,
I made it with like 5 minutes to spare to get on the plane, yeah. So I was rushing and it was ridiculous.
New requirements for travels, though TSA says the Real ID rollout has been successful.
93% of passengers are presenting a real ID or another acceptable form of ID. And if you don't have one, encourage you just to come a little early because we're giving extra screening.
The record number of travelers, including me. On my way from New York City to New Jersey, and it's bumper to bumper. This Memorial Day weekend, nearly 9 out of 10 travelers are driving, 39.4 million in total, a million more than last year. Helping move the drivers along, gas prices at $3.20 a gallon on average, well below this time last year. And for folks out west, stunning cliffside views just in time for Memorial Day. The famed Pacific Coast Highway now open, months after the devastating fires.
And there is more weather on the way. Just basically some impacts Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday from these scattered showers. We're tracking them next.
As our community continues to clean up the destruction left behind by the May 16th tornado, our Verified team wanted to know where Missouri ranks when it comes to these deadly storms. When you look back at history, is there one state that stands out? 5 on your side's Ann Allred is here to verify, and it turns out the numbers hit close to home.
I started digging into the data, wanting to uncover, is there a place where the most fatal tornadoes have struck time and time again? Let's verify. Which U.S. state has experienced the highest number of the deadliest tornadoes? Our sources, Matt Beischer, lead meteorologist at the National Weather Service, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Storm Prediction Center. The latest list, compiled by NOAA, lists the top 25 deadliest tornadoes in United States history. Where does Missouri rank as far as the highest number of deadliest tornadoes?
Missouri is tied for the most deadliest tornadoes with Mississippi, with 5 separate events.
The 5 tornadoes happened in 1880, killing 99 people, 1896, 255, 1925, 695, 1927, 98, and 2011, the Joplin tornado, which killed 158 people.
To be counted among this really bad list is it has to kill a lot of people.
And even though the information says Missouri is tied for the highest number of deadliest tornadoes in history, I can't verify that with 100% certainty. Here's why. The data needs context. The National Weather Service didn't start systematic tornado record keeping until 1950. Before that, records were kept in daily logs. Data sources were newspaper accounts and eyewitness reports. We can verify, based on the historical data we have, which prior to 1950 was not standardized, Missouri and Mississippi are tied for the highest number of deadliest tornadoes. But again, that data needs context because a national tornado database wasn't officially started until 1950. I'm Ann Allred, 5 on your side.
It's Memorial Day weekend, and Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is here now with more on the holiday forecast.
Well, we don't have any more big storms in the forecast. That's good news for us, and it doesn't look like severe weather's in the offing around our area anytime soon. So we'll certainly take that. Not necessarily that it's bright and glorious, although at times it was today. But now the clouds are starting to roll back in. We're starting to see some showers and thunderstorms develop down into southwest Missouri, back into parts of Kansas, up into Nebraska. Some stronger storms here developing across parts of Oklahoma. All indications are everything is going to slide off to the east and to the southeast with these storms. And there's some big ones down there in Texas too. But we're thinking the majority of this doesn't really have a big impact on St. Louis. As you watch it with our futurecast, most of the heavier rain ends up into northwest Arkansas again, into southwest Missouri. Some of it does get into our southern counties, but metro area out to St. Charles, going north and over towards Litchfield, not a whole lot in the way of rain options. Tomorrow morning, most of what's down to the south will be scooting away and ending like it did this morning. Tomorrow afternoon, maybe there's a scattered shower around, but it's not going to be a continuous rain, that's for sure. So shower chances are into Tuesday. Three things here: no severe storms and below average temperatures. The clouds and the rain chances keeping us well below average. In fact, here's a statistic you will get for Monday. Watch our temperatures here. We should start dry Monday, mainly cloudy. We're going to have temperatures only in the 60s. The last time we had a high on Memorial Day in St. Louis that was only in the 60s, that was in 1997. It's been a while since we've had that kind of cool weather and with damp conditions as well as the showers press to the north and northeast, especially during the afternoon. Rainfall amounts, well, they vary hugely, but the one thing, and any model we show you right now is just a random guesstimate. They're all over the place. But I wanted you to notice kind of the color codings here. You have the much lighter green to the northeast, and then you get into the darker colors to the southwest, where you get into those oranges down into Phelps County, down, say, into parts of Reynolds County. That's where the potential is for an inch or more of rain. Metro area going north and east, it's most likely less than that. 67 right now, 74 was the high today, 79's your average. And there's a look at what you've got going for tomorrow. We are talking about temperatures staying in the 60s, some scattered showers here and there. Monday, of course, you're looking at that potential of shower action, especially during the afternoon hours, keeping those temperatures in the 60s for your Monday afternoon for Memorial Day. Again, 1997, the last time that we were only in the 60s. I think that was 67. So might even have to go back a couple more years if we stay lower than what we're forecasting.
All right, Scott, thanks. Annie's here now with what's coming up in sports.
I am indeed, Robert. Well, coming up next in sports, the Cardinals are boasting 2 wins in 48 hours. What our Redbirds manager is saying made that all happen. Meanwhile, City SC tries to battle Mother Nature and kick their back-to-back losses. That's after the break. It's a small streak, but it's a streak. Cardinals go back-to-back winning against the Diamondbacks at home this afternoon, 6-5. And they would do it in a dramatic fashion, having an out-of-this-world 8th inning, just 2.5 games behind the Cubs. Some late mojo did wonders as right fielder Jordan Walker slams this one into left in the 7th, hitting the wall and scoring 3. Then it's Alec Burleson's turn to target the center field gap, and Ivan Herrera has his eye on third. Burleson is going to end up stretching this one into a double. Oh yes, he's going to flap his wings, much to the delight of a St. Louis crowd who gets on their feet. Then Nolan Arenado didn't get enough yesterday. He gets an RBI and says, I want more. This would put it away. You end up having Ryan Helsley getting Arizona swinging, bringing everyone in Busch once again to their feet. Another win against the Diamondbacks.
You know, I know I'm going to have to work at it to get things right. So I think, you know, giving it my all, coming in, you know, being proactive, getting my work in is going to be the quickest way for me to get to where I want to be. And I think, you know, with that philosophy, I can become a great baseball player.
There's a lot of contributors, and that's what makes a good team. Up and down that lineup, everybody's contributing either on the offensive side, on the defensive side, or both.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC is still trying to work their way out of the almost basement in the Western Conference. They would have had a chance to do that more tonight at 8:30 against Colorado if a rain delay hadn't put a damper on things. Some dark clouds in Colorado boded doom and gloom, but St. Louis still got a few minutes on the road Saturday. Midfielder Conrad Wallem wants a piece and takes a shot early. Not enough heat, though, and no good. Rapids fans are mostly prepared in their ponchos, but they wouldn't be enough tonight. This is when things really started to come down. Wallem says he's not done yet. Klaus dances around with it for a minute, goes wide. That's the last kick of the game at the start as of now, stopping the clock after 7 minutes of play. But things have kicked off once again, so more to come, but the score is still 0-0. The St. Louis University Billikens didn't have a lucky end of their season as they got knocked out of the A-10 tournament yesterday. Their baseball season unfortunately ending after 2 losses in the semifinals, falling 8-2 against top-seeded Rhode Island and number 2 George Mason. So not bad there. St. Louis finished the season with a 33-26 record. We will have playoff football once more on June 8th for the XFL Conference Championship, but the Battlehawks were giving us a little bit of a show last night before they roll out the red, or in this case, it's the blue carpet. Head coach Anthony Becht knew walking into Friday night's game against San Antonio, it would likely be a walk in the park, and Brandon Silvers would take advantage of that. They get a big pass. QB finds Hakeem Butler for the touchdown. You could have probably guessed that one, though. Then, a little bit later on, a big run up the middle by Kevin Latulis, the running back, making it 38-13 for the Battlehawks. Then, for good measure, Latulis is saying, hey, I'm going to tack on one more, but this time on the ground. Battlehawks fly away with the win last night, 39-13. And it may be the NBA playoffs right now, but one of Edwardsville High School's top alums, Kate Martin, was getting some nice airtime Friday night for her Golden State Valkyries. Going up against the LA Sparks and former Aces teammate Kelsey Plume, Martin left wide open at the top of the arc. That's going to go for 3. Then she does it again, pushing the Valkyries up to 59. Ultimately, big win, 82-73, and former Edwardsville teammate Lauren Taplin was there to cheer her on.